Hello and welcome back to another redstone tutorial of mine, and here I'm going to show you how to build a hidden redstone staircase. It is compatible both with Java and Bedrock editions of Minecraft at the cost of, well, size. So I'm going to divide this video in a few sections, and we're going to start with the resources. And for this build we're going to need about 1.5 to 2 stacks of building blocks, including the floor, 36 redstone dust, a dispenser with powder snow bucket, 4 observers but only on Java edition, 14 pistons, 10 repeaters, 5 torches, 4 node blocks but you can use wool if you want to, a button as an input, 4 turkey blocks, and 3 compressors. That's it. So I'm going to start out with showing you how it works, and this is going to be the example here. And when I press the button, the whole thing opens, and when I press it again, it closes. And I'm going to break down this thing in a few segments, explaining how each other circuits work, which are displayed just behind me. And we're going to start with the cyan circuit, or the startup circuit, which begins with a simple T flip-flop. It's the same one as I showed in my last video with the basis of that one too. Then we've got this little line here, which is quite important to the yellow circuit because it powers the main block but cannot be powered back, with 2 repeaters throwing the signal through the walls. Then we've got the pulse extender, which extends the pulse so that everything can be shut down in time when we're covering the staircase up. We have this repeater which leads into the lime green circuit, this repeater and this torch which leads into yellow circuit, and down from the pulse extender we get the light blue and the red circuits. Then we've got the yellow circuit, which powers this piston here, which pushes up the first wool and the ground level stair, and is powered by this fairy redstone torch and a few repeaters coming from the first startup line, being on 4, 4, and 3 ticks correspondingly. Then we've got the lime wool circuit, which is powered from the other side of the startup circuit, and we've got these 2 observers here that are not needed in Bedrock but needed in Java because they update a comparator under the piston, which helps the piston update in time. Fortunately, Bedrock doesn't have all of the quasi connectivity but powering stuff, so if in Bedrock you won't see any lag in pistons, but in Java you might sometimes see one piston lagging behind. That's the thing that's causing it. So in how it works, we have a redstone torch powering a repeater that powers a block which has a redstone dust on top of it that powers this piston, this block that powers this piston, this block that powers this piston. Then it also powers this redstone dust, which powers this piston, goes around top and powers this piston, making sure that the whole wall of pistons is extended. We've got these pistons that are extended by the red line here. So moving on to the red circuit, we got this pulse extender, which is located way over there. You already saw it. And the signal goes through the repeater just before it starts to turn, goes up here, powers this redstone torch, and these redstone torches below that power these pistons. Lastly, we have the light blue circuit, which is just above the red circuit, having the signal go upwards and into these target blocks, which should extend these pistons that usually carry the stairs. We have another 2 observers that are updating this piston here. You don't need this on Bedrock because Bedrock doesn't have the weird powering and updating stuff. Yeah. So that was it for the explaining of all of these circuits. This was a bit more complicated than the T flip-flop I showed in the first video, but it works, and I'm going to show you how to build it just right now. We're going to start with a 2x3 rectangle with a block going up in one of its corners and a block going out next to it. Then we place a block across from it, a block below, and then 2 blocks and a block to the side, then a block across and a redstone torch on top of it. Then we place a repeater facing into that block on 4 ticks delay, place redstone dust across this whole line, these 2 edge blocks, the redstone comparators, one facing into the block, one facing into the edge redstone dust. Then we place a node block, or if you don't want to, you could just place any block here with the redstone torch on top of it. And if you are using a node block, you can place a block of wool to make it sound nicer and tune it to your liking. Then you place a block near the redstone block and a block below that with a repeater facing into the wall and a block above the repeater. Then we place a repeater from that block facing into the node block and redstone dust on top of the repeater. Now we're going to place a block next to this repeater, a block across from it, 3 additional blocks next to it, a repeater, 2 redstone dust, a comparator, a block of cyan wool, and a dispenser with a spouter snow bucket inside of it. Then you might want to place a button onto here so you can control the T flip-flop. Now we're going to move over to the yellow circuit by placing 2 blocks next to the block with last redstone dust on it, with 2 repeaters with a 4-tick delay. Then we place a block that the last repeater is facing into, a block diagonally down from it, another block across from it here, with a 3-tick delay repeater, then an L shape, with 1 block going diagonally upwards, a piston diagonally upwards from it, and 3 pieces of redstone dust. Now moving on to the lime circuit, we're gonna place 2 blocks of this redstone torch with a repeater facing towards the T flip-flop. A block that the repeater is facing into, then we're gonna place 2 node blocks on either side of this block with redstone dust on top of it. Then we're going to place 2 observers facing into each other, but that's only in Java edition, because Bedrock edition you don't need to update pistons for them to work. Then you place another block here in between the observer and the node block, 1 block off. A block off to the side, then cover it all with redstone dust. Lastly, we're going to place a wall of pistons here, with 3 pistons facing upwards and glass on top of them as the flooring block, and 1 on top of this one because this one was already extended. So now we're going to move on to the red circuit so we can power these pistons. First, we're gonna place 6 blocks off to the side from the edge redstone dust pieces in our pulse extender. We're gonna cover it all in redstone dust for 3 blocks, then place a redstone repeater and 2 additional redstone dust. Then we make an L shape here and a little staircase next to it. We place blocks above the redstone line here, place a redstone dust piece here, here, and here, with some target blocks next to the redstone, and redstone torches on the side of them, as well as a redstone torch on the side of this block. And now we're going to move over to the light blue line. We're going to start by placing a block here, a block across above it, then 2 extra blocks. Cover this whole thing with redstone dust. Place 2 target blocks at the end with 3 pistons. Now we're going to place 2 observers facing into each other, but as I said earlier, you need this only on Java edition because Bedrock edition doesn't have the piston budding and updating things. I forgot to mention that this is supposed to be a repeater and not a redstone dust, so just keep that in mind there, and well, this will be updating like this if I don't place the stairs on the pistons. Now it won't update, except you need to place this on 4 ticks. Oopsie. Well, now the thing works. Last to complete, the stairs going downwards, and this is done now. So thank you for watching this, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.